What's going on, everyone? Austin John Plays here, and today I'm going to be going over some BBQ BP farming tips in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Indigo Disc. Farming BP via BBQs, blueberry quests, not barbecue as in the type of food, can be somewhat tedious, but there are ways to optimize your overall experience while you go through the Indigo Disc. First thing to note is there are two different types of BBQ farming that you have to do throughout your experience. Now, you're going to have to do a total of 120 solo quests if you're going to want to do all of the legendary Pokemon available in your game, and you're gonna have to do joint quests. Now, when it comes to solo versus co-op, if you have the opportunity to play co-op, I would highly recommend it, is because you're going to be getting all of the BP that you need for the trainer room. You're also going to be getting all of the quests for Snacksworth for your local legendaries, and you're going to be getting all of the group quests complete for your other version and for your joint legendaries. More info on that in the legendary Pokemon in an upcoming video. But overall, it's a fantastic use of your time, with one exception, which is anytime that asks you to make a 4-star sandwich. This requires you and the other people that you are playing with to provide one of each of 5 types of Herba Mystica. Meanwhile, alternatively, it could just ask you to hatch an egg or take a photo of you guys as a group. So I would recommend anytime it asks for a group photo, you just go right in the middle, and if it asks for the sandwich, you just reset. Do you have 5 extra Herba Mystica like that? I don't. But this video is mostly going to be focusing on what you can do in a solo mindset, but also while you're playing through in co-op, this sort of mindset is going to be fantastic, and a lot of hints that are going to be useful for you in a co-op or solo setting. Anyways, let's get on with it. The first thing to note is when you start doing these quests, they're only going to be worth 10, maybe 20 BP. And after you complete 15 of them, you're going to be getting access to better ones. And then after 10 are complete, you're going to get the big red one that shows up. After you complete 3 of the big red ones, which I think means 30 in total, it might be 50 in total, my number's a little bit fuzzy on that, you then get access to advanced BBQs. The very first thing I'm going to recommend is to get yourself a fast auto battle Pokemon. There are a couple that I'm going to recommend. The first one that could do a very good job is going to be your version exclusive Charcadet evolution, whether that's Armor Rouge or Ceruledge, just because they're very fast on land. I think the fastest, but they might be slightly outclassed or tied with my new favorite, Vikavolt. From Kitakami, once you're near this lake where Monkey Dory is, that's how casual this playthrough is. Monkey Dory is still here. Catch yourself a Grubbin, evolve it, use a Thunderstone on it, get it as high of a level as you can, and give it as much speed as you can. That way you can outrun things in battle, and you're going to be absolutely fine. This Pokemon, its auto battle speed is some of the fastest. The Pokemon also flies around, so because of that, you're not going to have to worry about water. That was one of the biggest problems with Ceruledge, and why I had to also keep Magnezone with me, because he was my preferred Pokemon to go auto battle Pokemon on top of water. I also want to state that if you do these quests while not in the Blueberry Academy, they don't count. Yeah, it makes sense. You have to do the Blueberry quests in the Blueberry Academy. I'm also going to recommend that you go ahead and you unlock all of the fast travel points. Future Austin, if you could go ahead and put this on screen, there's going to be 4 in the ice area, 3 in the coastal area, 4 in the savanna area, and 3 in the canyon area. Unlocking these fast travel points is going to make your life a little bit easier for this. In addition, I'm going to really recommend that you complete the story first. To complete the entire story of the Blueberry Academy requires that you catch 2 Pokemon, do 5 trainer battles, do the Elite Four and Champion, and then you do the events that take place in Area 0, which I'm going to be intentionally vague about. All in all, should take at most 5 hours. That also includes some fun casual catching of Pokemon. And there are 2 reasons you want to complete the DLC. I'm going to tell you spoiler free now. One is because you're going to be able to make your ride Pokemon fly. While they're gliding, you push in the left stick and then you're able to fly any way that you want. By the way, go into the options and at the very bottom, you're going to unlock the option for invert flight, and then it's going to feel so much more natural. This makes traversing much easier. Also, you're going to be able to survey areas for Pokemon easier. Oh, it just happened, but I got it. Yeah, this also counts as traveling 500 meters while you're flying. But also, your Terra Orb is not going to need to be recharged at the self-healing areas while you're in the Blueberry Academy. You can now terrestrialize in every single battle, cutting down the amount of traversing that you have to do between knocking out these quests. And now that I've covered all of the advice that I have before you start knocking out these quests, let's start actually talking about them. Whenever you have quests that come in is when you should be doing them, and you should try to group them together as much as you can. What I mean by that is successfully sneak up on a Pokemon and surprise them in battle, take a picture of a Pokemon swimming, and defeat 10 Pokemon using auto battle. Well, I can do auto battle here, but if I just go next to the water and I then send out my Pokemon to go do an auto battle, Vikavolt gonna be flying around, and while he's flying around, I'm gonna go ahead and look for a Pokemon that's not paying attention to me, like this Tentacruel over here. I'm gonna target it with ZL, and I'm gonna use ZR in order to backstrike him. I just got another quest for defeat 10 Pokemon in auto battle, and I also have to catch a Pokemon. If you do a backstrike to a Pokemon, it significantly increases your chances of catching it. For example, turn 1 using a quick ball against a Tentacruel, you have a 49% chance to catch it, but if you caught it off guard, that's an 83% chance to catch it. Critical capture, we're good. I'm once again just gonna send out Vikavolt so that he can go auto battle some Pokemon while I get to land to go take a photo. Hop off, look down, take a photo, good to go. Send him back out to go do more auto battles. I need to terrestrialize my Pokemon to defeat a wild Pokemon. Okay, that same Finneon I just took a picture of, I'm just gonna send out Vikavolt, terrestrialize, use Thunderbolt, GG easy. The longest part of this quest altogether is just watching that animation, which I really wish there was a shorter animation like they did with the Mega Evolutions, but that's okay. It's not that long. The only quest that I would recommend that you skip is make yourself a TM. It's gonna cost 10 BP to get rid of it, and that's absolutely fine. You want to save all of your drop items for the Pokeball item randomizer thing. I have a full video coming out about that and its chances and everything else. It's actually fantastic. So much better than the Cramomatic was in Sword and Shield. So now looking at a total of defeat 10 Pokemon in auto battle, pick items off of the ground, and it's gonna ask me to catch a bug type. Now I think to myself, okay, what's the most common bug types in this DLC? And that's gonna be Scyther, who's available pretty much everywhere, and also Joltik, who I did not mark that fast travel point. Here in the Chargestone Cavern, I know that I could just look around, I could just find a Joltik. They're usually pretty easy to spot because they're small and yellow and they hop everywhere, but they don't move very fast, so because of that, it's also easy to get a backstrike if I needed both of those combined together. Joltik, even if I didn't catch it off guard with a quick ball, is a 100% catch rate. Some other useful types of Pokemon to know about include Golett and Golurk, because those count as ground types and ghost types. They can always be found at this exact spot right here, so you can always just fly from this rest area to right there, and that's going to be your ghost type handled, their ground type handled. Poison type Pokemon in the waters here in the polar biome, you can have Quillfish, but Quillfish is kind of attentive, but in the coastal biome, you're going to be having Tentacool, that also counts as a water type, that also counts as a Pokemon swimming, or if you want, you can find your own flow of Pokemon that works for you on what types you want to go catch. So if they say, oh, go catch a steel type Pokemon, I filter all my Pokemon, and I'm like, okay, well, out of all of these, what's going to be the easiest steel type Pokemon for me to come across? Well, I know there's Alolan Diglets, that's also a ground type. Metagross has the lowest catch rate of 3 along with legendary Pokemon, so I don't want that. But Alolan Sandshrew is going to be readily available if you're playing Violet. If not, Duraludon is going to be readily available on the mountains, and that's a dragon type, so anytime they ask for a dragon, boom, that's 2 of them down. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that the 4-star sandwiches, which require 1 of each of the Herba Mystica, kind of isn't really worth it. The other quests that require you to just make sandwiches, you could totally do that. It seems like it's a little picky on exactly what you want to put in the sandwich. Like if it says make a spicy sandwich, you should be picking 3 ingredients with the primary flavor of being spicy and 1 condiment, because you have to have a condiment. The 3 ingredients have to be different ingredients. Can't just do like noodle, 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 or potato salad, potato salad. Potato salad needs to be 3 separate things like bacon, lettuce, tomato, and then mayonnaise, because you always have to have 1 topping or dressing. and then you're good to go. If you stack that with a quest that says make a sandwich with 3 ingredients, it's the same exact criteria, 3 ingredients, 1 topping. Which you may be asking what the flavor profiles of different things are. Many months ago about the sandwich simulator, URL is going to be on screen here, or just search Pokemon Scarlet Violet sandwich generator, sandwich simulator, and you're like, okay, well I need a sweet dish, and then you pick 3 random ingredients, and then you pick something else, and you're like, okay, well what's the overall flavor? Sweet is 33, bitter is 35. Pick a different topping, go through here, figure out what works for you for your primary flavor to be accurate. Hatch a Pokemon egg. Well, okay, I mean, if you have any eggs that have just been sitting around in your inbox for absolutely no reason at all, now's a great time to go ahead and grab them out. And if you're not familiar with the specifics on how the egg hatching mechanics work in this game, all of the eggs that are in your party, anytime that one of them hatches, it's going to reduce the time for all of the other eggs that are in your party to hatch. Get a flame body Pokemon, run around with 5 eggs in your party, and then when one of them hatches, take these 4 eggs that now have reduced hatch times and throw them back in your PC for later. You could also use this opportunity to run around and go look for items on the ground, as that's a common BBQ pop-up. Oh great, we have a hatch, perfect. Now I'm just gonna take all of the eggs out of my party and my flame body Pokemon, and it tells me to catch an electric type Pokemon. How convenient. Wherever you are, think about what's the easiest way to knock out 1 or 2 of these. If within 5 seconds you can knock out one of them, go do it. But if it's going to take a little bit longer, or if you can combine it with something else, then combine it with something else and go to a more optimized area for that. Oh, I want to specifically talk about take a photo of a wild Pokemon in flight. Flying doesn't actually mean flying. That means any Pokemon who has wings and is walking from one place to another while not touching the ground. Any Pokemon who is levitating off of the ground like Geodude does. Or, perfect example, this Sinistea over here. You are flying. It's also a little weird on how it responds, and I think it has to do with the roosting mechanic of wild Pokemon, that if it was the daytime and I saw this Scyther here, and I took a picture of him during the daytime, he will be considered flying. But if he was doing the same walking / hovering animation that he does at nighttime, it is not flying because he is currently in a roosting state. A great example of that is if you ever saw Bombardier or Kilowattrel, how those Pokemon don't fly during the day, they are roosting at night. Battle a wild Terra Pokemon. That does not say that you have to defeat a wild Terra Pokemon. It just says you have to battle one. Go ahead, run into one, and that counts. Watch the animation, run from battle, and you're good. Pick items off of the ground, travel 500 yards, and defeat Pokemon in auto battle. While I'm auto battling, the Pokemon may also pick items up off of the ground. I may pick some items off of the ground, and I'm also going to be moving a little bit all at the same time. So while I'm focusing on one and defeating these 5 Rufflets over here, those are the other things that could be happening in the background. And just in that little bit of time, well, I defeated 8 wild Pokemon, picked up 6 items, and did 436 yards. Combine your tasks together, knock them out efficiently, make your life easier. And there's always that weird chance that the Pokemon's gonna do those little sweaty marks in the corner to let you know that it found a shiny, so that's always nice. Wait, do I have a clip of that? Yep, I did take a clip of that exact thing. Found a random Trumbeak outbreak and I just started defeating all of them. And while I was defeating them, this one wasn't able to be defeated. And I just completed 2 of them, just completed all 3 of them. I hope I was able to enlighten you on how streamlined you can make these quests and challenges, and how you can go about doing them efficiently because, well, you're gonna have to do a lot of them. And I keep throwing out the number of you have to do at least 120 for all of your legendary Pokemon. There's no way to know how many you've already done without going and talking to Mr. Snacksworth. Again, I have a full video about all of the legendary Pokemon coming out very shortly, but I need to filter out exactly what Pokemon you're getting in your game, and then in the other game, and when you play co-op, and when you play solo. So there's a lot of things to go over, and I want to make sure I nail all of the details in that guide. Anyways, if you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. Until next time, Austin Chan out.
Man, they see me shining, like I got the charm. Stay strapped, got that jet ball in my palm. Felt from the sky, guess I'm the chosen one. And if you need to know how, check out Austin John. Champion flow, flow, yeah. I got that champion flow, flow.